Hello, good morning, everyone. Thank you very much for joining us this morning. My name is Wanjala John, a senior trainer with Africa 118 in collaboration with Google Digital Skills for Africa. I'm joined in with my colleague Orwa Joseph, who will be our moderator today. He's live on the chat. Feel free to engage him on the chat box. Tell us where you are watching us from. Tell us your name. Just in one sentence, tell us your name. Type in on the chat your name and where you're joining us from. And we shall be good to start our webinar today, which is build your brand and apply for jobs. So welcome, and let me see who is joining us from different parts of the country, from different parts of the continent. Just feel free to type in your name, tell us where you're joining us from. Just say, so and so joining you from this particular place, and then we shall be good to continue. So today it's all about brand, and I know this is a topic that is very, very sensitive online, and it is efficient for you to understand how do you build your online presence, and how good is it. Okay, fine. So we shall begin. The objective of this session is to help you manage your online presence, build your strong digital profile and CV. By the end of this session, you'll be equipped with the foundational skills and knowledge of tools, techniques that you will need to apply for jobs online. So during this session, you will understand what your online presence is traceable. To learn how to control and manage the information available on your online platform. We shall also look at how to learn how to set up a professional social media profile. And then we will look at how to identify strengths and weaknesses to create a profile of you. And then we shall also look at how to use word processing software to construct your CV. That is basically on the Google Doc, and save digital document to cloud or to device, and attach a digital document to an email or application. How to upload a CV to a job searching platform, and to develop a structure. So our agenda will be drafted into three. The first one will be how to manage your digital footprint and social media profiles. The second thing will be writing professional CVs, and the last thing will be how to craft your cover letters. So I want to welcome you today, and feel free to engage us. I can see on the chat Evans has joined from Addis. Thank you very much, Evans. And feel free to join us from wherever you are. Tell us your name so that we can know where you are joining us from, and we shall continue. So, to our next thing, I want us to kind of have an icebreaker. I know this is very, very efficient when you are offline, but you can also have an icebreaker online. So for our online viewers, I want you to answer some few questions that I have today, and that it will actually be our icebreaker. So which social media channels do you use currently? Feel free to engage us on the chat box. Tell us the best social media platform that when you wake up in the morning, you feel like I actually want to have a look at what is on this particular platform. Is it WhatsApp? Is it Facebook? Is it Pinterest? Which social media channels do you currently use? Try to pick some of the. I'll try to look at some of the responses on the chat to see some of the. So feel free to join in and tell us some of the platforms that you like viewing online on social media. I see Mwalimu Fabian from Migori. Thank you for joining us. And just feel free, as you join in, feel free to introduce yourself, tell us where you're joining us from, and some of the social media channels that you love checking from day to day. Now, to our next thing that I want us to look at is how do you manage your digital footprint and social media profiles? This is very important for anyone who is online. How do you manage your digital footprint and social media profiles? As you are aware, most millennials or most urbanized people, it's not even urban, but most people are on mobile phones. And one thing that no one can miss on a mobile phone is a social media platform. So how do you manage your digital footprint, and how do you actually engage with people on social profile, and how secure are you? Those are some of the things that I want us to share. Continue posting on the chat some of the social media platforms that you've been using, and we can be in a position to look at some of them. I'll be looking at the responses coming in, so feel free to write them and engage us on the chat. Now, what do you think your digital footprint is? Let me pose this question to you. What do you think your digital footprint is? Hit us on the chat again. Tell us when I ask you what is your digital footprint, what are some of the responses that you will actually respond to, or will you just say I'm not aware what is available online? And to break it down, what do you understand by the term digital footprint? So we shall be looking at this. I want to encourage all of you to think around some of the digital footprints that you have. What have you left online? What is there that people can find online about you? Those are some of the things that I want people to engage us. Hit us on the chat. Tell us what uh, what digital footprint you have, and some of the things that you think people get online when they search for you, or some of the products or services that you offer. And some of the great answers, I will actually read them out to you and see how you are doing. So, digital footprint. Your digital footprint, basically, whatever we mean is all the stuff you leave behind as you use the internet. Anything that you use the internet for and you leave it behind, that's what we call a footprint. And that is whatever we refer as your digital footprint. So whenever you are online, whatever you do online, anything that you post, be it a picture, be it a text, be it any illustration or diagram that you've put up there, if you leave it behind there, that's whatever we refer as a digital footprint. Comments on the social media, on Skype, on app use or email records, all those are your digital footprints. Now, it's part of your online history and can potentially be seen by other people or tracked in a database. Anyone working in an office, anything that you do on the online platform, be it on which particular social media platform, you can easily retrieve them when you check your history. Or somebody can come back, check at the database and see what did you actually say concerning this particular thing. And that is what we refer as a digital footprint. Every day, whether we want to or not, most of us contribute to a growing portrait of who we are online. You'll find that the moment you are online talking about a topic or maybe talking about something, it is very important for you to know, what am I posting about this particular subject? Whatever you say, whatever you comment, whatever you post is actually being left behind for other people to review or maybe view it later. And that's whatever we call a digital footprint. So these portraits helps employers look into your background, which means before employers look or maybe decide to employ you as a person, they can easily go online, type your username on a particular search platform, and the moment they see anything that pops up, that is whatever they'll consider as your digital footprint. I remember a recent case was a candidate that was nominated by the CS of tourism, and whatever she posted on the online platform actually had negative effects on the appointment that she was given earlier. And so many people will actually go back, retrace whatever she posted concerning a topic about tourism, and reposted it at that current time. So you find whatever you leave behind, your employer can easily backtrack, check whatever you've been posting online about a certain topic or comment, and be able to pin you down with that. So it is very important for you to understand what are some of the things that you leave behind when you are going on the digital platform. So it also helps advertisers track your movements across multiple websites. I know so many people nowadays, with the pandemic times, so many people have gone online, and you find most people are doing their marketing online. So you'll find anyone who is on a particular website, they can check what have you posted online, what have you done online, so that they can easily know how best to target you and get what is working for you. Again, I'll remind you to engage our moderator. Tell us where you are watching us from. Share some of the digital footprints that you have presence in, and ask yourself, what have you left behind? If I go online right now and look for example, at him online, what will I get? That's whatever we refer as a digital footprint. Now, how do we leave digital footprints? I know most of you, there are various ways that we leave our digital footprints behind. One, we can either leave our digital footprints using the social media handles that we have. That one can either be likes, retweets, and some of the Facebook comments that you post around. Some of them may rely on just click on an okay, whatever terms they're introducing without reading them. You'll find most of you on their social media platforms, they just, the moment you download that particular app, you just see some of the things that have popped up there. You just tap okay so that you can visit that particular social media platform. And at the end of it, you find anything that you like or maybe you comment on is actually stored as your digital footprint. Another thing, by using your mobile phones or tablets or computers, you can also leave a digital footprint. So the moment the gadget that you are using, if somebody has control of it, they can easily know what are some of the sites that this person was viewing, what are some of the sites that you've been visiting, maybe during this time to this time, that they suspect something that you did, or maybe they actually want to trace some of the things that you've done. They can look at that and be in a position to see what is working and what is not working. And now the third thing, some of you also leave digital footprints on online shopping platforms. You find retailers and product review sites often, like cookies on your system, which can track your movement from site to site. Another thing, this allows targeted advertisements that can show you products you've been recently reading about or looking at online. So anytime you are online, always remember, what are you posting online? Which site are you visiting? What is available online? And understand whatever I'm posting, is it something that I can look at years to come and to not actually interfere with what I stand for or some of the morals that you have. Now, to the next thing that I want us to look at is what comes up when you search your name on the search engine. On a quick count of 1, 2, 3, just just try type your name on the search engine. And a disclaimer, because I know it is common in Kenya, most Kenyans have got shared names, but try to look at that particular username on that particular social media platform that you usually use. Just type it on the search engine. Type your name on the search engine and look at the results. Are you proud of whatever you're seeing? Go on the images. Are you seeing some of the images that you posted online? Those are some of the things that we consider as a digital footprint. So let me check the chat. Just do that as a nice icebreaker. Go on the search engine, type in your name, and see whatever is coming up, and you shall be in a position to understand what the digital footprint says about you. Just try Google and look at it. If you've seen the wordings, go to the images section up there. What image comes up when you type your name or when you type anything? I'll be checking that as we proceed. And now let me come to some statistics here. Employers look at social media accounts for an array of reasons, but many want to make sure a candidate will be good that fit their company profile. For example, most youths nowadays are on social media platforms. You find before you get a job, you're online speaking about a certain topic or maybe making your contribution concerning some of the topics that have been shared online. So before an employer grants you that opportunity to work with them, they actually can do a quick search among the interviewers that they've shortlisted. They say, can you type this person on the search engine? What have they said about this particular topic or this particular industry? So whatever you post online, can actually influence the decision that employers make. And now, what post on social media could you actually have some serious repercussions? As you saw the story that I shared before of the tourism industry in Kenya, the moment you post anything that is very negative, or maybe you are not advocating for whatever the industry is for, it can actually land you or maybe make you see some of the negative repercussions that will come out of that. According to 2018 Career Builder survey showed that 70% of employers use social media to screen candidates during their hiring process, and about 43% of the employers use social media to check their current employees. So when you are in any organization, the research shows that most of them go on social media to see what are you saying about this particular thing. That's why you find most employees are very sensitive on whatever they post about that particular product or product or topic that the company is relating on. Now, how employers use the social media. I know so many employers nowadays. The social media is taking shape, and most employers actually do share some of their posts or maybe some of their job listings on social media platform too, and also the search platforms for the jobs. According to 2018 survey, you'll find that social media look so many people look at social media before they do employment process. 50% want to ensure the candidates they have actually have a professional online persona, which means if you pick somebody for a job and their online profile or maybe online digital footprint online is not that encouraging, so many people will it will actually affect the company negatively. So be very careful with whatever you post online, which can actually have a negative repercussion. And 30% want to see what other people are posting about the candidate. So I might be a candidate to a job. I have actually had the papers, the experience, and everything. But my morals on the online digital footprint are not actually going hand in hand with whatever I have as my profession. It means if the online person or maybe the digital digital head account for the particular organization goes and searches for my name and sees whatever I've said online is not aligning with the company profile, I might lose the chance. So don't be tempted to completely erase your online persona, but try to minimize some of the negative things. And I know most of you, maybe you created the social media platforms way much when you're young, and you've been posting anything up on the social media. You can go back, delete some of the crazy or maybe some of the posts that are not worth to you right now, and just remain with the ones that will be considered worthy. And how do you now manage? Now, that's the next question that I want people to answer. Feel free to engage us on the chat. Tell us, how do you manage your digital footprint? One, most of you I know, once I've shared these, most of them are going to say, I'm going to do a cleanup on the content that I shared online. The second thing, think before you click. Before you click on anything online, think first. The third thing, update your privacy. The fourth thing, analyze your current footprint. And the last thing is to post positive content. The moment you put all these things in check, the first one, when you do the cleanup, please don't comment or post anything that might upset anyone else online. Because the moment you incite people online, that's how you've lost it. And just to share on privacy part when it comes to online, so that you control what people see and what other people cannot see. Always make sure you use strong passwords. Always make sure you strengthen your privacy settings. There are things that only close people to you can see, and things that can be viewed by the public. So there are the common things that the public can see, and there are things that the other people cannot see. So to the other thing, don't share your password with others. The moment you are sharing your password with others, it means anyone can log into your account and be in a position to share it with the entire public. So always make sure you do the 5 things that I've shared, and you shall be good to go. Now, how do you change your privacy settings? This is the key thing when you are talking about anything online. So one thing you have to make sure, on Facebook, go to Facebook platform, then you go to the settings icon. Once you hit the settings icon, you go locate where privacy is. Tap on the privacy. Once you tap on the privacy, edit who can see your posts. You can actually see the variety of options that will be displayed down there. Decide, do you actually want this post to be seen by everyone? Do you actually want only close friends or friends that are your friends or people who are following to see these posts? And now review posts and things that you've been tagged in. There are some people who tag you in some silly posts or maybe some crazy fun posts because of the fun that you ever had with them before. Or try to review them. If you find out that you are tagged in something that was not making sense, try to review it and see, is it worth me now or what it is not worth it. And now to the next thing, edit who can see, who can send your requests, and then edit who can see your friend list. Also, that is very important, because some of the decisions that you make on the online platform, which is particularly Facebook, makes a lot of people know who you really are by just looking at some of the mutual friends that you have, or some of the friends that are your friends and can influence somebody's decision. So when you actually do all those checks online, you'll be good to go. And now, let us go to Twitter. Also, Twitter has got some of the privacy settings. You can also strengthen them by privatizing your tweets. Control who can see what you post. If actually it is public, it means anyone can see whatever you post. Control your location information. Location is very key. And the moment you do not control your location, it means anyone can easily see where you are, what you do, and it can easily follow your digital footprints, and it can be harmful. Today, I will not be sharing about the online safety, but just the moment you share your location and somebody has got your pictures, it can actually interfere with your privacy. So always make sure you control your location information. And now, who can send you messages? This is why so many people slide into people's DMs, and some people you can easily block them. If you find you don't want people to send you messages, the moment they tap on that, it is actually deactivated. And also tag you in photos or posts that will ultimately appear on your timeline. Please make sure the moment you are online, don't be tagged to something that will interfere with your timeline. Just review them and see what works and what does not work for me. Now, after that, let us check out. Let me see what you people say on the chat. Feel free to also engage us and see some of the things that you do online, and I shall be looking at them. Let us also now go to LinkedIn and see how do you improve some of the how do you access your profile on Android or iOS on the LinkedIn profile, and see how best can you improve it in terms of your digital footprint. You can use LinkedIn to display
your CV, search for jobs, enhance your professional reputation by posting updates and interacting with other people. So the moment you find your career matches a certain person, you can easily follow these people and see how have they displayed, or how have they put out their professional experience, and you can align it so that it suits or it looks similar to the people that are connecting to your network. And just for those people who are not very familiar with LinkedIn, it's quite similar to some social networks like Facebook. Though for LinkedIn, basically it is based on principles like connecting with people, posting updates, sharing and liking content, and instant messaging to other users. So this one is more professional as opposed to the Facebook platform. Now, how do you create a professional profile on LinkedIn? That's the next thing that if also you feel like you have a page on LinkedIn or an account on LinkedIn, you can feel free to tell us on the chat so that we can know you are live on LinkedIn, and what are some of the challenges that you've been facing when you are on LinkedIn, so that I'll be looking at the chat and I'll be addressing them. Uh, there are some platforms hiring managers are more likely to check than opposed to some particular platforms. For example, if you post your your CV on Instagram, Instagram is more of pictures, and most people, the moment they go on Instagram, you'll find either they want to see videos or they actually want to see pictures. So the particular platform that you post your CV is very key to where you'll get the job. So think of LinkedIn as your supporting CV. Most employers view LinkedIn as a source for legitimacy. Other social media sites as Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram are more of a way to know your personality. So here you can easily add your experience, which is outlined in a perfect way on LinkedIn, and then you can also tag the network in a professional context, and then you can share the content which is relevant of what you do professionally. You cannot actually just tag anything that is not professionally related to your career. And then you can also explore and apply to jobs directly using your LinkedIn account. I know this is an advantage that the LinkedIn profile has got as opposed to the other platforms that you like on the social media platform. Now let us go deep into the LinkedIn. Here's where we want to see how you can create your professional profile. There are few key features on a LinkedIn profile that you should fill. These key features actually display you as a professional or display you as the person who really understands the platform and knows how to put everything out there. The first thing, post your work experience, your accomplishments, your education, your current location, and more. Make sure your LinkedIn profile is a place where you show your career history. So everything that I've shared with you in terms of experience, accomplishments, education, let it actually capture your career history. And now to the next thing. First, make sure you have a photo of yourself on the headline. A photo speaks a lot when it comes to anything online. Anything without a photo, believe you me, most people will not connect with you. So if actually you have a professional photo on your LinkedIn profile, it gives you an advantage over those who actually have a blank profile picture. The second thing, the quality of your profile picture is very important. If the quality appears so blurred, it means most people will not see you clearly. Either some of them will suspect you do not even have a quality camera or a quality phone to take a good picture of you, or you just actually you are trying out something the way other people do on other social media platforms. So when you're on LinkedIn, make sure the quality of your camera is okay, so that the picture that captures your face, and here it does not mean necessarily the entire body of yours. Let it cover your passport, kind of from your chest upwards, so that it can easily display you professionally, the way work IDs look like, or maybe professional identity cards look like. Make sure your face is visible, that employers can identify you at any given point. And then keep the pose simple and look friendly. Don't be so serious on that platform until some people usually make a joke like, are you are you happy or you are not? Just try to put a little bit of some smile when you're taking the photo. And then avoid distracting backgrounds. If it's a background, let it be a clear background. You can see the background that I'm having here. It is so clear. Let it not be that maybe has got a lot of artworks, a lot of tattoos, a lot of all those things that maybe are good for Facebook. Just try to look for a clear background where it easily displays your face. And then your summary is the text below your profile picture. So there's a summary where you are supposed to include your previous roles and titles. So here you're supposed to tell us what have you done and what are some of the things that you've been doing. And then also the about section. Here's where you tell us or you highlight some of the key experiences and achievements that you've been doing in your lifetime. As you can see the display on your screen, you can see how that picture is well placed. You can see a little bit summary. You can see the name clearly. And please use your official name. When you're on the serious platform, use official name. And then also the about section and experience. So at a glance, I can easily know whom am I talking to, what are they doing, what is about this particular person that I'm interested in seeing. And by looking at that, I can be in a position to easily identify and want to know more. Once you are done with the first part of it, that's your profile. Now, the next thing that you want to look at is how to make connections on a LinkedIn profile. So the main thing that you have to understand, a LinkedIn is a networking platform. So many people use LinkedIn to grow their contacts and find career opportunities. So how will your network assist you get the next career that is very important in your life? You can see existing invitations that you've received from others, either because of the field or the industry that you are in, or you can also see some of the things that people have posted and you like them and you can follow them and you can easily get opportunities. It's important to make business connections, and LinkedIn is a great way to gain them without necessarily having to be where you are, where they are. You can easily make a connection online. You can go to somebody's profile, see whatever they do, look at the relevant experience, and actually try to engage this particular person, share some of the things that you share in common, and from there you can easily message each other and even plan online meetings because I know with this pandemic everybody nowadays is online. You can easily organize a very quick chat with the person that you've connected with on LinkedIn and be able to interact with them and get the best out of it. Now let us see some of the do's and the don'ts on the professional social media. Some of the do's. Some of the do's. One, always post content regularly. I know most of you, because of your busy schedules, you'll either find you post either very early in the morning or late in the night, but try to be consistent. Either you decide, am I doing posts twice a week or maybe 3 times a week, so that people know this person is active on a particular social media platform. If you take ages, people will think this account, the last post was actually sent here 2 years ago, which means you're not active on that particular platform. So people will not even engage with you. Keep it professional. Avoid sharing information of personal life. More professional. Personal life, you've got other platforms where you can do that. And then the third thing, make sure you nurture your relationship. Stay in touch with valuable leads. If you look at something that is valuable to you in career wise, try to tap into that and see how best will I get out of this particular project. And then have a professional shot, one that shows your face clearly. Make sure the photo that you're putting up there is 100% displaying your image. Don't put them with a lot of fashion, maybe caps or maybe shades or something, but just be as simple as that. I usually say, if you've ever been to the Kenyan industry, you shall know how people take passports. If you actually want to travel, that's the way you're supposed to take a good photo, but at least try to smile.
And some of the don'ts, please don't criticize others on a social media platform. The more you critique, the more you get the following, yes, but some of them will actually be biased and some of them will be very negative towards you. B, do not be negative. Please never be negative on any social media platform. If somebody is doing their thing and they're trying to promote a product, don't go to that particular product or maybe that particular page and posting to them something negative. And now to something that we need also to know best when you are sharing content. That's something that is very key on any online social platform. Always know what your post matters. Your post matters a lot online. Two, always make sure you use relevant hashtags the moment you're doing anything online. Three, make sure your posts are visual. When we talk about visual, either you incorporate it with a video or incorporate it with an image. The moment you put a video or an image to any text, most people will be first attracted by the image or the video. So always make sure you can visualize whatever you are talking about. And the last thing, always start or join a conversation. The moment you communicate with other people on a trending topic, it also builds a lot of comments, and people actually get to know you, whatever you do, what you deal with, and some of the ways that they can feel comfortable connecting with you. So always make sure you have the four things in check. Make sure your post matters, whether it is on LinkedIn, whether it is on Facebook, whether it is on any social media platform. Please make sure it matters. Make sure it is very insightful and it is knowledgeable. Don't just post for the sake that somebody shared a post with you on WhatsApp, or maybe someone you find it is funny and you post it online. Make sure, does this post matter to my online viewers? Is it something that I can resonate with or not? And what's wrong with this post? I want us to look at some examples here, and feel free to type in your comments on the chat box, and we shall be in a position to look at them. Here's an example of a post from LinkedIn, and I want you people to share with me some of the things that you you find funny with this. I know you can see it. One, it says, is so happy listening to T4F while pretending to work. And then you look at those posts. Now look at it. Is this post personal? Let me get to see some of your comments, and let us see. Is it something that you've been resonating with, or what is the wrong with this post? Tell us on the chat. And if you look at that post, does it offend others? If yes, hit yes. If no, let me get to see whatever you people say online, and we shall be in a better position to continue. Keep the comments coming in. And remember, this is on LinkedIn. If somebody types whatever you're seeing on your screen on a post, is it something that it's so personal? Is it something that resonates with the connections that he has created on the LinkedIn profile? Or is it something that will offend others? And you can see he's telling us more about what he listens and he likes doing. So according to whatever I've shared, feel free to hit us on the chat box, and I shall be looking at them in due time. So, and this one is the next one. What's wrong with these posts? Is it personal? Is it offending? Hit us up on the chat and tell us, is this post what you, is it something that you think is worth it or not? You find Jen Doe, who is an account manager, telling us, I love when I can hear my boss talking on my phone at work. As long as I can hear her on the phone, I know it means she's not going to sneak up behind me and see how many web browsers I have opened. That's a post that Jen Doe is posting on her LinkedIn profile.
And then the CEO, Jen Doe, is the boss. I love when my employees post things like this on LinkedIn. And I'll need to see you in my office at 4. That's the response of the boss. So you can see whatever Jen Doe posted online is was it worth it, and was it something that was personal, or did it offend the boss? Do you think the boss meeting Jen Doe online, or maybe seeing the post of Jen Doe online, was it something that was worth being shared? So hit us up on the chat. Tell us, are these some of the posts that you find offensive, or what will Jen Doe do in that particular situation? I want to pause for questions. Tell us what are some of the questions that are coming in your mind when we are talking about digital footprint, and we shall be answering them. And not forgetting, for those who are joining us now, feel free to tell us where you are joining us from, and also post some of your questions, and I shall be looking at them. Feel free also to engage my moderator, Joseph Orwa, who is on live on the chat and will be in a position to share with me so that I can be in a position to look at them later. So post some of the questions that you have, and I will be looking at them and to respond to them as they arise. If there are no questions, I think I'll go to the next slide. And if you have any, feel free to write them and I'll come back to look at them. Now, I want us to go to something different, which is how to write professional CV. So I know most of you are very familiar with CVs, having gone through schools, going through everything. But when everyone is talking about a professional CV, most people ask themselves, what should I include and what should I not include in a CV? Those are some of the things that we are going to look at, and we are going to cover them today. So, what information should I include in a CV? And what is a CV, and what is a resume? So I want also you people to tell me on the chat box what you feel a CV is, and what you think. What is it? What is a CV? What is it? And what is a resume? Tell us the difference, and also tell us what are some of the information should you include in a CV, and some of the information that you should not include in a CV. I think. Looking at that, let me just check the chat. Feel free to engage us again so that we can understand what are some of the information, or what are some of the things that you've been told with others. You should include this on your CV. You should not include this on your CV, so that we can understand. I'll be looking at those responses, but let us proceed now. How to build your CV. One thing, when you're talking about a CV, there are 4 key things that we need to look at. One is the personal information. 2 is the experience. 3 are some of the strengths that you have. And the last thing includes some of the hobbies and interests, so that you can communicate perfectly about your individual personality. The moment you include these 4 things, you will be in a position to know what exactly this person is or has to offer. One, on the personal information, I know there's a lot. Tell us what you think should be included on personal information. Is it only your name, contact address, and should it actually have a header or not? Tell us. Tell us on the chat box. Tell us, should you include a summary of who you really are, the way that you write on the about section on the LinkedIn that we've just shared? And I shall be looking at them to see how you interact with us. And then on the experience section, here is where you're supposed to tell us what are some of the achievements you've done to cover your qualifications. What have you achieved so far since you began this journey until this, and until where you've reached? And then to the strengths, you can easily tell us if you actually have problem solving skills, or maybe you know how to relate with people. How do you relate with others? And some of the things that you've been doing that you believe are some of the strengths that the employer needs to know. And the moment you are sharing this information, please make sure they easily relate to your job or that position that you're applying for. And lastly, your interests and hobbies. Here is where I usually see a lot of responses. I see people telling me they love about jogging, they love gym. Tell us what are some of the things, and I will be looking at them and tell you what are some of the do's and the don'ts when we are talking about these particular categories. Now, let us go deeper in whatever I was asking people to do. Personal information. What is personal information? Here is where you make sure we have a summary of everything about you. Here is your full name. Here is where you see your address. Here is where we find your phone number. And here is where we find your email. The moment I know whom I'm talking to and their address and their contacts, believe you me, I'm in a better position to contact that person when I see that post online. And additional information can be your age. There are some jobs that actually require a person who has attained a certain age. So it is very important for you to include your age and also the nationality. There are some jobs which are only meant for Kenyans. So if maybe you are not a Kenyan, you also need to specify your nationality. Though the others also require you to show that you have a driving license. If you find it is something that has been requested, you actually have to indicate on the online platform that you actually have a driving license. If those are not mandatory, you're good to go, but there are key mandatory things: your name, your address, your phone number, and your email address. Those are key. Now, I want us to look at the next thing, which was the experience. When you're talking about experience, what do you do? That's the first thing. What do you do? What did you achieve? And the third question you need to ask yourself is, how does this relate to the role that I'm applying for? So before you fill in your experience section in your CV, ask yourself, what did I do so that I call this is my experience? And then what did you achieve when you did whatever you did? And then to the last thing, how does this relate to the job that I'm applying for? I want you people to write down some of your responses, and just if you are taking notes, just take down the three points that I've shared, and you shall be in a position to understand and come out with the best experience that relates to the job that you're applying for. And coming to the next third thing, which is translating experience to strengths. I know most people have been having problems with this. And how do you translate your experience to be your strength? There are some tangible ones, there are some that you can reflect on, and there are some which are transferable skills. So when you're talking about tangible experience, it means for example, a human experience in work or education or life. So once you can easily find them, the ones that you say, I've been working in this particular industry, I have this experience. So because of your time or duration that you've been there and looking at everything that you've done at that particular time, you can easily tell us, this is whatever I've been doing, and this is something that I think is good for us. And then reflection. You can easily consider what you did well and now say, I think my experience has been built up on this. So you can easily reflect, what have I done in my life so far that can build to my experience? And there are some transferable skills. When we talk about transferable ones, here's where you encourage things like adaptability. You can easily be taken to an industry that you have no idea of. You've not done anything, but you find you are doing this and that, and now you adapt to the skills that can be transferred from one person to another, or maybe a lead somewhere trains you on how to do 1, 2, 3, and you can be in a position to do whatever is required of you. Now, I want us to talk about what are some of the top 3 strengths and why. Why do you consider the top 3 strengths that you are talking about? Please hit us up, tell us what are some of the top three strengths that you think you have, and why do you think they are your strengths? Hit us up on the chat. Tell us what you think some of your strengths are, and we shall be in a position to see what you people say. And then I want to now share with you how to create a CV with a Google Doc. This is a Google product, so anybody having a Gmail account, you can easily go to the particular email, and then on the 9 dots that, or maybe the icon that usually appears on the right, you can click on it and choose the Google Doc. So you can actually find templates, Google Doc CV templates. Here is where writing a CV can be daunting. So Google Docs offers CV templates to help or guide you to define experience and also digest some bites. So you can be in a position to follow the template, fill in it, and then the moment you fill it in with the personal information, experience, strengths, and hobbies and interests, you can easily now pull it up and print it and present it like a CV. So Google has actually come up with so many templates. Just have a look at them, look at those templates, look at which one fits in with your industry sector that you are in, and you'll be in a position to understand what you're supposed to do. How to create, now let us look at how to create a CV with a Google Doc. You can create a CV on a Google Doc with these steps. One, Google Docs. You'll go to Google Docs. You can easily just type Google Doc and then tap on the enter button, and it will now select the resume templates. That's the next step that you go in, enter information that is required on that particular template. Once you've entered the information that is required on that template, now the last step is to save it as a PDF. The moment you save it as a PDF, you can be in a position now to download it and print it and present it to any interviewer. That is key. So how to create a digital CV on mobile phone. I know I shared this earlier, and most people actually go online using their mobile phones. So you can be on the go and you want to create a CV using your mobile phone. So this is very important. You need to know how to select a template on your gadget, edit the content, and also save it as a PDF, and you shall be in a position to do it. This is just an example. You can just follow the same things that I've said on the previous steps on how to go about it, and you shall be in a position to get it done. At this point, I want to pause for questions. If you have any questions concerning whatever I'm talking about, feel free to engage us, and I shall be in a position to answer them or address them. Any questions? Okay, fine. If I'll be looking at the chat to see if there's any question coming in, and I now want to talk about the last thing, which is crafting cover letters. So a cover letter is an accompaniment that comes with your CV. Some people will not ask for it, but some people will just tell you send in your CV. So the moment they tell you send in your CV, it is up to you to understand. Do I include a cover letter or should I not include a cover letter? Now, what do we use a cover letter for? That's a question that I know most of you are asking, and you can easily ask yourselves, why do you think it's important for a cover letter to be used? And one thing that I usually say in a layman's language, in Kiswahili we say, this is a document where unaandika kila kitu ambayo inafaa kuonyesha unaweza pata hiyo kazi. Unaandika kila kitu ambayo inafaa upate hiyo kazi. So when you are doing any cover letter, always make sure you write everything that should make you be a top candidate for that particular job. So when you're talking about a cover letter,
It's basically a way to show off. Here's where you tell us what do you think you've done in your life that is very efficient and very key thing in everything that we are doing. And it lets your employer learn more about you, your personality, and know whatever you are applying for. Another thing, a CV is supposed to be short, sweet, and your cover letter is perfect way to elaborate on your achievement. So anything that you are doing anything that you are writing on your CV, make sure you are trying to elaborate more on some of the achievements that you've been having. Is it this that you are doing? Why? What makes you think you are the best candidate for this particular thing? Just to share some statistics, you find in a statistics that was done in 2016, you find 54% reject resumes that aren't customized to the job. So you are not just supposed to have one particular cover letter which is not related to the job. Make sure you have a cover letter that relates to the job, and you can be in a position to see what is coming in from this particular candidate that is applying for this particular job. Just a quick one in terms of some of the building blocks for a great cover letter. You can see what I've highlighted on the screen. Either you can say, what should a cover letter include? And the first is to start strong. How do you start your cover letter? If you know the name of a person you are writing to, always use it. If you know the person that you are writing to, always use it. Otherwise, use to whom it may concern, because you can easily say to the human resource manager who is not. So if you just write to so and so and it's not that person handling that particular job, it means it's not okay. And when you are starting it, either you can use hi, hello, or dear. Those are some of the notations that you can easily decide to use. And then from there, you come now to introduction part of it. Who You should actually tell us to introduce yourself. How do you introduce yourself? A bit about who you are, what you are interested in, and what the job you are applying for. Where did you hear about it? Tell us. Is it LinkedIn? Is it Fuzu? Is it something? These are some of the first questions that people usually want to know. The first thing they had that from. And now the third thing, summarize yourself. Tell us what's important to you. What are you good at? What do you enjoy doing? Why are you applying for this particular job? So by summarizing that, you shall be in a position to easily give us in a nutshell who you really are and what you consider important. And please make sure you tailor make it to match the job that you are applying for. And now explain why you think you are the right candidate for the job. This is very key. Always know what problem is the company looking for and what solution are you bringing to the table. So if you align these two, you shall be in a good position to get what is best for you. And to the fifth thing, talk about your achievements. Here is where Wakenya husema kujichocha, unajichocha vilivyo. Jaribu kuandika kila kitu how best you know it. Which certificate? What have you done for volunteering? What are some of the achievements, some of the languages that you know? If you know English, Kiswahili, French, Portuguese, put them there. Tell us more about that, because diversity is very key in any job setup. And now the last thing, don't forget to sign off. Always remember to sign off, and know that when you sign off, everything will be good on your side. After talking to everyone, tell us this and this is what is happening, and you can be telling us many things, or telling us looking forward to hear from you, and with kind regards, and then you tell us your name down there. There's so many ways that you can sign off. And if you're not very sure of your cover letter, the same way, go online, type how to do a perfect cover letter, and you'll be in a best position to see what is there. Let me pause for questions. If you have any questions concerning anything that I've shared on this session, feel free to hit us up and tell us this is whatever I want me to elaborate on, and we'll be in a position to
to check them out and respond to you. Tell us any questions that you are having, and I'll respond to them. And also feel free to tell us some of the next steps that you are going to do. So, what are some of the next steps that you are going to do when you are after this session? Is it the digital footprint that is online? How are you going to do the cleanup? What is there? What posts are you? Have you checked the security of your platform? Have you checked the privacy? Have you checked what are you tagged on? After that, go to your social media platforms. Is it LinkedIn? What information is up there? Is your photo right? Tell us what you think you're going to do after this session. And let me see them coming in on the chat box, and we shall be in a position. I think my moderator is posting for you a link to certificate where you'll be in a position to get a certificate after joining us for this webinar. You just type in everything that you require, and be able to tell us what are some of the things that you think is okay. And then also don't forget to follow us on our social media handles. This is very important so that you can know when and where we shall be doing our next webinar. Join us on our Twitter handle, that is Digital Skills App, Facebook, that is Digital Skills for Africa, and also on Instagram, which is Digital Skills App. Follow us on our social media handles, and also be in a position to see what are some of the things that are happening across the continent. I want to thank everyone for joining us for this webinar. I hope everything has been met according to the expectations you have. I want to thank you all, and share some of your feedback on the chat box. What you find was appropriate. What did you like about the session? Feel free to tell us. And also just some of an overview. Whatever do you want us to cover next? And also don't forget to check us out on our social media handles to know when is our next webinar and join us. Thank you very much, everyone, and have yourself a good afternoon. Thank you.